बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम अस्सलाम वालेकुम स्टूडेंट्स। आज का जो हमारा टॉपिक है वो है ब्रिंग बैक द बिग कैट्स। बिग कैट्स को वापस लेके आना। सबसे पहले हम क्या, ये हमारा रीडिंग पैसेज 2 है, टेस्ट 8 और बुक क्या है 12। सबसे पहले हम क्या करते हैं, हमेशा इंट्रोडक्शन को पढ़ लेते हैं। इंट्रोडक्शन का मकसद ये होता है कि हम लोग उसकी बेसिक को समझ लें, उसके बाद हमें पूरे पैराग्राफ को पढ़ने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, हम लोग इजीली फिर आंसर दे सकेंगे। तो इंट्रोडक्शन क्या होता है, ओवरऑल हमारी लाइफ के बारे में या जो भी आर्टिकल होता है उस, जो भी साइंटिस्ट होते हैं उनके बारे में, जो भी पैराग्राफ होता है उसके बारे में यहाँ पे ओवरऑल लिख दिया गया। देयर इज़ अ पोएम रिटन अराउंड 598 AD which describes hunting a mystery animal called a lion. But what was it? But what? And nothing seemed to fit until 2006, when an animal bone dating from around the same periods was found in the Kinsey Cave in northern England. Until this discovery, the lynx, a large spotted cat with tassel ears, was presumed to have died out in Britain at least 6,000 years ago. वो तो मर चुकी थी 6,000 साल पहले. Before the inhabitants of these islands took up farming, but the 2006 find, together with three others in Yorkshire, Scotland, Lion, were in fact one of the same animal. If this is so, it would bring forward the tassel-eared cat's estimated extinction date by roughly 5,000 years ago. मतलब ये बड़ी पुरानी बात है। तो इसमें आप जितने भी कीवर्ड्स हैं उनको अंडरलाइन कर लें। अंडरलाइन हम किस किस को करते हैं, डेट्स, मंथ्स, ईयर्स, नाउन्स। स्टूडेंट्स, मैं आपको जितने भी बुक्स हैं उन सब के लेक्चर्स दूंगी ताकि आप लोग इजीली इनको अपने घर पे ही कर सकें। ऐसे ही रफ रफ हम लोग कीवर्ड्स को अंडरलाइन कर लेंगे, ज़्यादा टाइम लगाने की ज़रूरत नहीं है। जो जो आपको नज़र आ रहे हैं उनको अंडरलाइन करते जाएं। आज ज़रा क्वेश्चन नंबर क्वेश्चन नंबर 14 to 18 है, A, B, C or D. What did the 2006 discovery the animal bone reveal about the lynx? Its physical appearance was very distinctive. Its distinction was linked to the spread of farming. It vanished from Britain several thousand of years ago. It vanished from Britain several thousand years ago. It survived in Britain longer than was previously thought. 2006 पे हम चले जाएंगे और लाइन एक्स पे चले जाएंगे। 2006 के देखें किधर है ज़रा। ये आ गया 2006। Before the inhabitants of these islands took up farming, but the 2006, together with three others in Yorkshire, Scotland, in compelling evidence that the lynx and the mysterious lion one of the same animal, मतलब वो सेम ही थे। तो आंसर क्या है, 7,000 years ago। ये जो है ये ब्रिटेन से सेवरल थाउजेंड ईयर्स अगो जो है ये डिसअपीयर। इट सर्वाइव्ड इन ब्रिटेन लॉन्गर देन वाज प्रीवियसली थॉट। ये ब्रिटानिया में था लेकिन जितना ये सोचा जाता है उससे ज़्यादा था। तो अब हमारा आंसर क्या है, डी है। व्हाट पॉइंट डज द राइटर मेक अबाउट लार्ज प्रीडेटर इन द थर्ड पैराग्राफ? लार्ज प्रीडेटर्स, their presence can increase biodiversity, they may cause damage to local ecosystem, their behavior can alter according to the environment, they should be reintroduced only to areas where they were native. Large predators. फर्स्ट, सेकंड, थर्ड, कौन सा पैराग्राफ हमने हमें कहा है, इन द थर्ड पैराग्राफ। Rewilding means the mass restoration of damaged ecosystem. It involves letting trees return to the places that have been denuded, allowing parts of the seabed to recover from trawling and dredging, permitting rivers to flow freely again. Above all, it means bringing back missing species. One of the most striking findings of modern ecology is that ecosystem ecology without large predators behave in really different ways from those that retain them. Some of them drive dynamic process that resonate through the whole food chain, creating niche for killers turn out to be bringers of life. Their presence can increase biodiversity. इसका आंसर ए हो सकता है. ये देखिए ज़रा बायोडाइवर्सिटी की बात हुई है. इकोलॉजी इज दैट इकोसिस्टम. इकोलॉजी क्या था? जंगलात का खत्म हो जाना. What does the writer suggest about British conservation in the fourth paragraph? British conservation in the fourth paragraph. Such findings present a big challenge to British conservation, which has often selected arbitrary assemblages of plants and animals and sought at great efforts and expense to prevent them from changing. It has tried to preserve the living world as if it were a jar of pickles, letting nothing in and nothing out, keeping nature in state of arrested development. But ecosystems are not merely reflections of species, they are also the dynamic and ever shifting relationship between them. And this dynamism often depends on large predators. It has it has failed to achieve its aim. It's beginning to change direction. It has taken a misguided approach. It has focused on the most widespread species. To prevent them from changing, it has tried to preserve the living world as it was a jar of pickle, letting nothing is in and nothing out, keep nature in state of. But ecosystems are not merely collections of species; they are also the dynamic and ever-shifting relation between them, and this dynamism often depends on larger predators. तो हमारा आंसर क्या है? It has taken a misguided approach. C. Protecting large areas of the sea from commercial fishing would result in protecting large areas of the sea from commercial fishing, sea or fishing would result in. ये आ गया commercial fishing at the sea. आ गया sea. The potential is even greater by protecting large areas for commercial. We could once more see what 18th century literature describes vast shoals of fish being chased by fin and spun whales within sight of the English shores. This policy would also greatly boost catches in the surrounding seas. The fishing industry insists on protecting large areas of the sea from commercial fishing would result in practical benefits for the fishing industry. Some short-term losses to the fishing industry, widespread opposition for the fishing industry, certain changes to techniques within the fishes industry. Within sight of the English shore, this policy would also greatly boost catches in the surrounding seas. The fishing industry insistence on scoring every inch of seabed, leaving no greedy reserves, could not be more damaging to its own interests. ये लास्ट पे हमारा आंसर है. जितने भी एमसीक्यूज होते हैं इनका आंसर हमेशा लास्ट वाली लाइन पे होता है. तो हमारा आंसर क्या है? क्या आंसर आ सकता है इसका? प्रैक्टिकल बेनिफिट फॉर फिशिंग इंडस्ट्री could not be more damaging to its own interest. तो यहाँ पे आंसर क्या आएगा हमारा? Practical benefits of fishing industry. According to the author, what distinguishes rewilding from other environmental campaigns? What distinguishes rewilding from other environmental? According to the author, environmental campaigns. ये आ गया. Example of environmental movements or rewilding, in which campaigners articulate what they are for rather than only what they are against. किसके साथ है और किसके साथ नहीं है. One of the reasons why the enthusiasm for rewilding is spreading so quickly in Britain is that helps to create a more inspiring vision than the Green government's usual promise of follow us, and the world will be slightly less awful than it would otherwise have been. आंसर हमारा क्या आएगा यहाँ पे? According to the author, its objective is more achievable. Its supporters are more articulate. It, its positive message is more appealing. It is based on sounder scientific principles. Sounders and otherwise have been follow us and the word will be slightly. Sounder इसका आंसर क्या है हमारा? D. Sounder scientific principles. नेक्स्ट पे आ जाएगा. Reintroduction the Linux to Britain. A to F. Question number 90 to 22. There would be many advantages to reintroducing the Linux to Britain, while there is no evidence that the Linux ever put Dash in danger. There would be more advantages to reintroducing the Linux in Britain, while there is no evidence that the Linux has ever put Dash in danger. Dash in danger. Reintroducing the Linux in Britain. टाइटल क्या है हमारा? Reintroduce the Linux to Britain. ये आ गया Linux. Until this discovery, the Linux, a large spotted cat with tasseled ears, was presumed to have died out in Britain at least 6,000 years before the invention of these and took up together with three others in Yorkshire, Scotland, is compelling evidence that the Linux and the mysterious alien were in fact one of them. If this is so, it would bring forward the tasseled ear cat's extinction date back by 2,000 years. आंसर हमारा क्या आ सकता है? Linux has ever put Dash in danger. While there is no evidence that the Linux has ever put Dash in danger, it would reduce the number of certain Dash enormously in recent decades. It would only minimal threat to Dash, provide these were kept away from Linux, and furthermore, the introduction programs would also link efficiently with initiative return native to Dash areas of the country. अच्छा, यहाँ पे हमारा आंसर नहीं आ रहा. हम लोग नेक्स्ट पे जाएंगे ज़रा. ये थ्रेट, ये आ गया थ्रेट, ये आ गया लाइनक्स. Threat beings, there is no known instance of one being on people ever put Dash in danger. Evidence that Linux has ever put Dash in danger. तो यहाँ पे क्या है? To human being, there is no known instance of one being on people. इंसानों को कोई शिकार कर रहा है, तो आंसर क्या है हमारा? Humans. It would reduce the dash number of certain whose population have increased. Number of certain whose population have increased. अब देखो ज़रा किसकी population बढ़ गई है. It is specialist predator of roe deer, a species that has exploded in Britain in recent decades, holding back by intensive browsing attempts to re-establish forest. It will also winkle out sika deer, an exotic species that is almost impossible for human beings to control as it hides in impenetrable plantations of young trees. Introduce the attempt to reintroduce this predator. ये पीछे वाला था, क्या नाम है इसका? क्या नाम है इसका? विंकल आउट सिका डियर. ये क्या है? वाइल्ड एनिमल है, जंगली जानवर है. तो आंसर क्या है हमारा? डी. नेक्स्ट पे है ज़रा. इट वुड प्रेजेंट ओनली अ मिनिमल थ्रेट टू डैश provided these were kept away from Linux habitats. These were kept away from Linux habitats. It would present only a minimal threat to Dash. It will present a minimal threat to Dash. लिटिल रिस्क ये आ गया। टू शीप एंड अदर लाइव स्टॉक्स which are supposed as a condition of farm subsidies kept out the woods. A little threat to dash provided these were kept away from live habitats. Threat to dash farm animals. F. Next page. Furthermore, the introduction program would also link efficiently with initiatives to return native dash to certain areas of the country. To return native to certain areas of the country. With initiatives to return natives to be kept out of the woods. I heard several conservationists suggest that a Linux could be reintroduced within 20 years if trees return to the bare hills elsewhere in Britain. If trees return to the bare hills, the big cat could soon follow. 10 areas of the country. Return native trees. A. यहाँ पे trees return to the bare hills. Next page, question number 23 to 26. True, not, not given. सबसे पहले हम यस क्या करेंगे, जो स्टेटमेंट यहाँ पे दी गई है और वो पीछे पैसेज में भी दी गई है, तो ये हमारा क्या है, ये ट्रू है। और नो क्या होता है, जो स्टेटमेंट सपोज उन्होंने यहाँ पे यूरोपियन कंट्री का कहा है लेकिन वहाँ पे एशियन कंट्रीज़ का हो, तो इसका मतलब ये फॉल्स है। लेकिन यहाँ पे ना यूरोप की बात और ना एशियन कंट्रीज़ की बात, तो ये हमारा क्या है, नॉट गिवन है। ब्रिटेन कुड बिकम द फर्स्ट यूरोपियन कंट्री टू कुड बिकम बन सकता था कंट्री टू इंट्रोड्यूस द लैंग्वेज, फर्स्ट यूरोपियन कंट्री, क्या ये ट्रू है? There is a poem written about 5980 which describes hunting a mystery animal around the same period was in Kinsley, Britain or a European country. England. Together with three others in Yorkshire and Scotland, is compelling evidence that the Lennox and the mysterious layer were in fact one and three answers. क्या Britain could become the first European country to invade New Zealand? Could become, तो नहीं बना था क्योंकि बाकी जो स्कॉटलैंड है और यॉर्कशायर है उन्होंने भी मिलकर साथ में स्ट्रगल की, तो ये हमारा आंसर क्या है, फॉल्स है। The large growth in European lynx population since 19th has exceeded conservation expectations. 19th has exceeded conservation expectations. 19th has exceeded conservation expectation. 1970 किधर है? 1970 ये आ गया 1970। The European population has tripled since 1970, roughly 1000, as with wolves, bears. यहाँ पे देख लें ज़रा, conservation expectations has exceeded population since 1970 has exceeded. As with wolves, bears, beavers, boar, bison, moose, and many other species, the lynx has been able to spread as farming has left the hills. यहाँ पे ऐसी कोई बात ही नहीं हुई, तो ये हमारा क्या है, not given है, and not given। अच्छा, जो जो फर्स्ट वाला हमने आंसर दिया इसका फर्स्ट यहाँ पे भी आप देख सकते हैं, यहाँ पे इन ब्रिटेन द बिग एक्स्ट्रॉर्डनरी अबाउट दीज प्रपोजल्स seen from the perspective of anywhere else in Europe. There is nothing extraordinary about these proposals seen from the perspective of anywhere. The Linux has now been introduced to the Jura Mountains, the Alps, the was in eastern France. ये France में मिला था, and the Harz Mountains, Germany, and has displayed itself in many other. यहाँ पे है, तो आंसर हमारा फॉल्स ही है। नेक्स्ट में, changes in agriculture practices have extended the habitat of the Linux in Europe. Changes in agricultural practices एग्रीकल्चरल ये स्प्रेड एज फार्मिंग ये आ गया. This has been able to spread a farming has left the hills and people discover changes agricultural practices have extended the habitat of the livestock. As with wolves, bear, gazelles, and the with the lynx has been able to spread as farming able to spread as they left the hills and आंसर क्या changes in agriculture have extended the habitat of the livestock in Europe. तो आंसर क्या है हमारा ट्रू है. It has become apparent that species reintroduction has commercial advantages. Commercial advantages. It has become apparent that species reintroduction has commercial advantages. ये देखिए commercial advantages इसके थे या नहीं थे. यहाँ से देख ले protest charismatic wildlife than to hunt it tourists. Yeah, tourists will pay for the chance to see it. Cultivating is happening almost everywhere except Britain. Government that species under industry has commercial advantage. Tourists आते हैं उसका हमें फ़ायदा होता है. People discover that it is more lucrative to protect charismatic wildlife than to hunt it as tourists will pay for the chance to see it. वो पे करेंगे तो हमारा आंसर क्या है ये ट्रू है. हमारे 13 क्वेश्चन कंप्लीट हो गए. आप मेरे चैनल को लाइक करें, सब्सक्राइब करें, अपने फ्रेंड्स को शेयर करें और किसी किस्म का कोई भी क्वेश्चन हो तो आप मुझे मैसेज करके पूछ सकते हैं.